In 1981, a man in the United States killed his landlord claiming to be possessed by a demon. In 1974, a young German woman died after dozens of exorcism sessions, and her parents were tried for negligence. Throughout history, brutal murders, macabre rituals, and inexplicable behaviors have been attributed to supernatural forces. But were these crimes really caused by demonic possessions? Or are there more rational explanations behind these cases? In this video, we are going to look at some of the most disturbing crimes supposedly linked to demonic possession. Real cases that challenge logic and until today divide opinions between faith, science, and justice. Case 1. The murder of Arne Cheyenne Johnson in 1981. This case became known as The Devil Made Me Do It, and was the first in the United States where the defense tried to plead demonic possession in a court. Arne Cheyenne Johnson was an ordinary young man until, according to witnesses, he began exhibiting strange behavior after a supposed exorcism performed on his brother-in-law, an 11-year-old boy named David Glatzel. The family claimed that David was possessed, and during one of the rituals, Arne would have challenged the demon to possess him in place of the boy. Shortly after, he began to act in a bizarre way, entering states of trance and claiming that he saw shadowy figures. On February 16, 1981, Arne killed his landlord Alan Bono with multiple stab wounds. During the trial, his defense claimed that he was possessed at the time of the crime. The case generated huge repercussion, but the court rejected the supernatural claim, and Arne was convicted of manslaughter. He served only 5 years of a sentence of 10 to 20 years. The case inspired the film Invicao Du Mal 3, a Ordem du Demonio, but still divides opinions. Would this be a real example of demonic possession, or just a crime with a convenient supernatural justification? Case 2. The Mortal Exorcism of Anneliese Michel, 1976. If you've ever watched the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose, know that it was inspired by a real case and tragic. Anneliese Michel was a young German woman who started to show strange symptoms around the age of 16. She had convulsions, said to hear voices, and claimed to be possessed by demons like Lucifer, Cain, Judas, and even Hitler. The deeply religious family believed that Anneliese was not suffering from a mental illness, but from a demonic possession. After years of unsuccessful medical treatments, they turned to Catholic priests, who performed 67 exorcism sessions over 10 months. During this period, Anneliese refused food and water, claiming that the demons did not let her feed. On July 1, 1976, she died of severe malnutrition and dehydration, weighing only 30 kilograms. His parents and the 2 priests responsible for the exorcism were tried for manslaughter. The court concluded that the young woman should have received adequate medical care and that her death could have been avoided. They were sentenced to 6 months in prison, but the Catholic Church kept the case under wraps for years. The recordings of Anneliese's exorcism still exist and are extremely disturbing. While some believe she was actually possessed, experts argue that she suffered from temporal lobe epilepsy and religious psychosis. Was this a case of real demonic possession, or a tragic mistake caused by extreme beliefs? Case 3. The murder of Michael Taylor in 1974. In the quiet town of Ossett, England, one of the most violent cases related to the alleged demonic possession happened in 1974. Michael Taylor was a seemingly ordinary man, married and father of 5 children. However, his personality began to change drastically after he became involved with a religious group led by a woman named Marie Robinson. His wife, Christine, began to suspect that something was wrong, and during a group session confronted Michael, accusing him of having an affair with Marie. It was at this moment that something terrifying happened. Michael began to act extremely aggressive, shouting meaningless words and presenting behavior considered demonic by the members of the group. In view of this, an exorcism was authorized and conducted by 2 local priests. The ritual lasted more than 24 hours, and, according to reports, the priests expelled about 40 demons from Michael, but claimed that there were still 3 remaining within him: the demons of murder, insanity, and violence. The morning after the exorcism, Michael returned home and in a fit of uncontrollable rage brutally murdered his wife, ripping out her eyes and tongue with his own hands. He also killed the family dog wildly. When he was found by the police, Michael was covered in blood, wandering the streets without any sign of remorse. At the trial, His defense claimed that he was under demonic influence and that the exorcism had worsened his mental state. He was considered legally insane and sent to a psychiatric hospital, where he was hospitalized for 4 years before being released. To this day, this case is one of the most shocking ever recorded and raises a question. Did the exorcism really set Michael free, or did it unleash something even darker within him? Case 4. The Murder of Clara Germana Seal, 1906. This case took place in South Africa and involves a 16-year-old girl named Clara Germana Seal, raised in a Catholic missionary school. Clara was an ordinary student until at some point she began to exhibit strange and disturbing behaviors. According to witnesses, she spoke languages she had never learned, showed superhuman strength, and seemed to react violently to the presence of religious objects. Reports indicate that she knew intimate details of the lives of people around her, as if she had access to impossible knowledge. The mission priest decided to perform an exorcism, and it was during the ritual that things became even more bizarre. Claire would have floated before several witnesses, trying to attack the priests and nuns who were present. During 2 days of intense exorcism, the priests said they managed to expel what they called evil forces from a young woman's body. Although not directly linked to a crime, Clara's story is one of the oldest and most well-documented accounts of alleged demonic possession. Some theories suggest that she might be suffering from a severe mental disorder, such as schizophrenia, while others believe her behavior is evidence of a supernatural presence. But the question remains, would this be a classic case of collective hysteria or true contact with evil? Case 5. The Murder of Teresa Fidalgo, Fact or Legend? One of the most debated cases involving demonic possession and brutal crimes is the alleged story of Teresa Fidalgo, who has become a popular urban legend on the internet. According to the reports, Teresa was a young Portuguese woman who died in a car accident in the 80s. Since then, his soul supposedly haunts deserted roads, causing fatal accidents. The case gained notoriety when a video appeared that showed a group of friends driving at night when they find a mysterious woman on the road. Minutes after offering a ride, she points to a place and says, "It was here that I died," before the car loses control and suffers an accident. The video, which looks like amateur footage, shocked the internet and raised theories that Teresa Fidalgo was a vengeful spirit. However, investigations have revealed that this story was never officially recorded and that it was nothing more than a piece of fiction created to go viral. Still, the legend continued to grow, being shared as if it were a real case of possession or a paranormal manifestation. This case shows how much our perception of crimes and demonic possessions can be influenced by well-constructed stories. But if some of them are pure fiction, others have real evidence and remain unexplained to this day. Now, the question remains, how many of the crimes attributed to demonic possession were real, and how many were just a result of the collapsing human mind? Throughout history, brutal crimes have been associated with demonic possession, leading courts and experts to debate whether these events were the result of supernatural forces or extreme psychological disorders. While some believe that evil can take on forms that defy logic, others argue that it is all explained by mental illness, manipulation, or even religious beliefs taken to the extreme. Cases such as those of Arne Cheyenne Johnson, Annalise Michel, Michael Taylor, and Clara Germana Seal continue to be studied and divide opinions. The line between the paranormal and psychopathology is often tenuous, and true terror can be as much in unknown forces as in the human mind. What about you? Do you believe that these stories are evidence of the existence of the supernatural or just crimes involving psychological disorders? Leave your comment and share your opinion.